Hey there, I'm here with another higher love letter. It's a beautiful fall day here in Wisconsin, so I'm getting outside and I'm just really enjoying the warmth on my rocking chair. This message is for, I believe, a male, but male or female, gender doesn't matter. Somebody who's very much in their masculine energy and has felt most comfortable in that energy for most of their life. Favorite colors could be red, black, and gray. I saw a lot of red. And when I was calling in my guides and angels, I always asked to hear, see, know, and sense the wisdom available to me to clearly give a message. And I felt like I was forgetting one, and it was the, I said, I asked to hear, see, know, and I missed one, and it was the feel or sense one. So I feel like this person is forgetting to go off of how they feel when they're making decisions in life. They do not focus on how they feel. They focus on the logistics of things and what they think, and maybe influence of people around them and what society tells them to do, and they forget, or they don't forget, they denounce how they feel or their intuition and things like that. And I got so tired and overwhelmed kind of in my mental space doing this. So this person is mentally exhausted, I feel, really trying to figure out why things have gone wrong in their life. I got a lot of channeling here. I'll try to make it short and sweet. But the heart is the window to the soul, and is also the bridge between the upper three and lower three chakras. And there has been a disconnect for a long time, maybe all their life. Or at a certain point, they chose to denounce their heart and intuition. Maybe they felt like it didn't get them very far. And they started kind of following along with other people around them who may live very shallow, materialistic type life. And they decided to go that route and shut down their heart space. I don't know at what point this person decided that would be the way to go, but that's where they're at now. And they have not been heeding the call and listening to their intuition and listening to spirit and the divine and their angels and ancestors speak to them to get them to kind of see things from a different perspective. And now slowly they've had things kind of stripped away. So I'm just gonna read my notes here. When the head, heart, and actions don't line up, there's a disharmony, and the stability that this person has been building their home and life on is on a faulty foundation, especially focused on their career perhaps and making money. And that's not a bad thing. Money is energy, and we need money to survive and, feel comfortable in life and to be able to give and take care of ourselves. But too much of a focus on career and money and financial gain can also create an imbalance, because if you're not doing things in alignment with what you're supposed to be doing, that's not a good thing either. So too much masculine energy, I feel this person has been in, which is all about action, taking charge, but they've been forgetting to make sure that what they're building and creating is what's meant for them and what's best for them. Before I did the channeling, I did a remote Reiki session by Etta Arlene, the YouTube channel, to clear toxic energy, anything negatively affecting the energy body. And then when I was doing this, I felt called to do a remote Reiki video or have it playing in the background to heal anything affecting the mental body. So my pendulum went missing as well during this, which was weird. I just definitely felt, okay, my pendulum is just a tool for my intuition. So I definitely feel like this person's missing some major, huge tools in their toolbox, like just no-brainers for a lot of people. But possibly for this person, they've had the blinders on and focused on their goals too much, like I said, and to denounce the other parts of you that want to be seen. Very success-driven, influenced by others, similar modeling and mindset they might have seen from their family, their own parents, friends, things like that. There's a call right now to get around earthly colors, to get around in nature, be around greens. I've got these mala beads here, which are so beautiful. They just make me cry when I look at them. The colors are so beautiful. So I've been kind of rubbing these during my session here, and there's a lot of green in here, and purples and pinks. which are definitely heart chakra healing. And funny, do you see this shape? Isn't that like the game from childhood where you do like the pulling and the in and out? That's cute. That was really weird. That's like a childhood game I used to play in the playground. No, that's not double dutch. Cats in the cradle. So, wow, that was weird. I did not channel that, but I just thought of that now. Somehow in childhood, possibly, maybe this person was kind of sensitive and in tune to their heart space when they were little, and that didn't go very well for them. So in childhood, they decided to shut that part of them off to fit in, or they were taught to have to reject that part of themselves. So this is a call right now to heal that wound. This person, so I definitely, like I said, get around the greens, colors, get out in nature, help heal that heart chakra. I definitely felt like a little bit of stomach ache. So this is affecting their solar plexus. Their confidence is kind of shaken right now. And their throat chakra has been blocked, like not being able to speak or speak their truth, or even speak their truth to themselves of what they really want and what would make them happy. It's affecting everything. Just only focused on the root chakra, which is, your stability, your money, safety, things like that, has caused an imbalance. And like right now, the throat chakra and the solar plexus are affected, obviously the heart space too. So those are the three chakras I feel need most healing right now. There's lots of things on YouTube to music and Reiki for the heart, throat, and solar plexus, but I feel like there's an overactive mental space right now, like too much coming in the mental space, third eye possibly, and they're not really understanding because they're not dropping into their heart and really letting themselves feel, like, and maybe they feel, but they don't let themselves act on their feelings, or they denounce their feelings as anything important, or their intuition. So this person, though, has been frustrated because they've done all the things that they thought they were supposed to do to build stability and safety and make a living, successful financially, but still don't feel fulfilled, whole, or stable. And they're missing the heart connection to what they're doing, missing love in their life, emotional fulfillment, discounting that as if it's not important. Whether you're male or female, it did kind of feel like it was a male energy here, but it could be a female who's most comfortable in her masculine energy too, feeling a little disconnected from her heart space. As a result, they may have rejected offers of love or emotional connections while building stability, which created an imbalance in life. Feeling regret possibly right now. They thought they were doing the right thing. But wherever, your spirit guides are saying, wherever did you get the idea that it would be good for you not to have love? Or to listen to your heart, or to follow your dreams. And maybe it's caused you to be a little cold and callous towards others and see people for physical needs only, and willing to share what they have in their heart. And they're continuing to build regardless of how they feel. So when I kind of looked over at my phone, a YouTube video came up, the Arlene remote Reiki. That's really nice to do. There's just all these free Reiki resources, which is energy healing. You can find a healing for any type of need you have. So this one that came up was Reiki to raise to the frequency of happiness. So that is really important right now, to find what makes you happy. Perhaps you have been misled, I wrote down. And this is directly from their spirit guides. It's like some questions to think. I feel like this person has been through a lot of trauma, and trauma people don't really like to be bossed around or told what to do. They need more gentle guidance. So your spirit guides are kind of coming in with a little more gentleness. It gets a little stern towards the end, but they're asking you to look around you at all the people you admire for their achievements, all the people in your circle, and ask yourself, are any of them really happy or truly fulfilled? Are any of them using their wealth to build healthy, happy homes? Are they surrounded by abundance in all areas, such as health, love, joy, peace, and physical status? You can think about these later. You're not expected to come up with this right now, but just spend some time reflecting on this. And are there people who have it all? And if there is anybody that you know that has it all, that they have wealth and happiness and joy and peace and harmony in their home, why don't you ask them what they attribute their happiness to? Is it solely the money, like you thought, or maybe taught to believe? My bet is that the ones who have the most abundance have the least attachment to money. Funny enough, who people who have learned to be at peace with how little or a lot they have, who strive for harmony and peace and trust their needs will be taken care of, who do not compromise the other blessings only to gain money, who believe money will come when alignment within the soul self is achieved. Perhaps richness in spirit matters. Material possessions are physical, and they do not come with us at the end of our days on earth, and they will eventually be lost, can be given and taken away. Only love will remain. My notes are so messy, like this stuff on the side. Okay, so what is the point of all the gain when you don't have or know unconditional love, or have no one to share in joys and accomplishments with, to help you when times are tough? And times will get tough for all of us at some point. If 1% of more things to consider from your spirit guides here. If 1% of the population control the world's wealth, does that mean 99% of the people are not successful? That they can't have happiness according to your standards or what you've been taught to believe? Think of the poor who are rich in spirit. Perhaps they know something you do not. Perhaps your logic and intellect is lacking in wisdom. Perhaps you are being humbled right now. Perhaps you are mistaken in your beliefs. Perhaps you have been led astray. If you, this is where it gets a little more stern. I feel like this person has been losing a lot. Some of their wealth, people have been leaving their life. The things that they were working and striving so hard to have are kind of being stripped from them. And if not, perhaps this may be the energy that's around them if they don't kind of take a hard look at their ego and some of their core beliefs that they've formed. Yeah, perhaps some of you have already seen material gains removed and you're wondering why. Material success doesn't make you better than anyone. It never has and never will. Economic privilege is real in this culture. Not everyone is fortunate to walk in the shoes you've had. Not to discount or discredit your hard work. Your hard work is just different than someone else's. While you gain worldly riches, someone else may gain success amongst the angels and the divine. Humble yourself, or life is going to do it for you. Or perhaps you've already had to be humbled because you weren't heeding the call. This could be a test of your character, not a test as if like if you're going to fail, you're doomed, things like that. That's not how the spirit realm guides us. It's not a punishment. It's just a test of your character, because they want to bless you with things, but you won't be given those things, the desires of your heart, if you are in alignment to receive those. And then I thought of the story of Lot. I was actually in my kids' chapel time this morning, and they talked about Lot. And you might want to look into the story of Lot. It's kind of a sad story, but Lot loved the Lord and gained his wealth while he was loving the Lord. So when it was taken away, he still had a firm foundation to stand on. He ended up losing. The devil and God kind of have a conversation, is how it goes. Whether or not you believe in the Bible is true, these are, stories, the energy that they represent is important. So Lot, sorry, the devil, the negative energy, fear-based energy, came up against God, who's love, right? Peace, joy, all the good things. And the devil, Satan, thought that if God took everything away from Lot, that he wouldn't end up loving the Lord in the end. And so then one by one, God wanted to kind of test his character. And he did lose his property first, his family, the respect of his wife and his friends, and he still ended up loving the Lord. And he lost his health too at the end. They kept, the Lord, so sorry. But he gained favor in the Lord, and Satan kind of left him alone then, right? And he ended up getting built back up. So that's the story of Lot. Lot loved the Lord, like I said. And so when it was taken away, he still had a firm foundation to stand on. And then it goes, the spirit guide message that goes on to say, when a wealthy man builds what he has based on himself and the things of this world and denounces God, what is he left with when it's all stripped away? Perhaps nothing. And then I heard the hymn, build on the solid rock I stand, sinking sand. I had to look it up. It was a hymn I remember from childhood. The lyrics are, on Christ the solid rock I stand, all other ground is sinking sand. And then another hymn that was underneath it on the playlist was, my hope is built on nothing less. When all around my soul gives way, he then is all my hope and stay. So look that up. on Christ the solid rock I stand, and the other one is my hope is built on nothing less. So whether you are a Christian or not, obviously those are Christian songs. It's the energy that they represent, kind of just looking at what your foundation is. If you don't believe in Jesus as God and you think of him more as a rabbi, it's just the energy of the divine, the spirit realm, unconditional love. Christ, Jesus himself stood for unconditional love. So if you don't build your foundation on unconditional love and having the support of the divine, you're building on sand, is what they're trying to say. And it's going to eventually, when hope gives way, you'll sink. That's not a good thing for anything. You can't build anything on faulty foundation or weak foundation. Did you ever, okay, spirit keeps going here. Lots of questions to ponder, which is cool to get you to start to think when you're, because you do spend a lot of time, this person I'm talking to spends a lot of time logically, mentally analyzing things, maybe too overly analyzing it. But to ask yourself if you really, like, the way you've been taught and the way you've been living and how you see other people live, is that really true for you in like your heart space? Does it make you feel like it's right or good or whole? Or and then do you ever even bother to ask God what his will or purpose was for you? And if you did ask, did you listen? When you were given insights or your intuition was speaking to you, did you reject that part of yourself to satisfy your ego and the opinions of others? Whose opinions matter most? Perhaps you've been so disconnected from your soul and heart that you didn't fully feel the effects from this getting stripped away, but you're feeling it now and being asked to clear the things away that are keeping you from true happiness and fulfillment, so you don't go back to your old ways of life. Funny enough, okay, like a kind of I wrote down a test. What kind of man or woman are you? A man of the world who doesn't need God, or a man who needs God in the world? So these are some questions to ask yourself. And again, think about the end of your life, like when you're going to look back, like the achievements are great and everything like that, but they're not going to be able to come with us, right? And what's going to matter most in the end is how you love the Lord or God, or however you see God, or your own soul and self, and how you treated others, and whether or not you had love in your life and were able to give and receive love. Funny enough, this is kind of gross, but I got a text from somebody who had to have an ingrown toenail fixed, and I was asking like what they had to do to it, and the person said that they had to like shoot a bunch of shots of numbing medicine around the toe, and then they had to like scrape it out, and then put some kind of acid on it so it wouldn't grow back, and then bandaged it up. Okay, so I got that text like while I was channeling this, which is really super gross, but perhaps this person was kind of numbed out, like because they're so disconnected from their feelings that they didn't feel things getting kind of like cut away from their life and sliced out. Maybe they lost some resources, or family turned their back on them, or friends betrayed them, or things like that have happened. And God has been putting kind of like acid in it so it doesn't grow back, and bandaged it up. And perhaps now that they're kind of sitting and isolated and kind of bandaged up and licking their wounds, this could be you. And you're bandaged up right now. You're kind of protected from the influence of others and isolated. And maybe God had to do that to get you alone, to be able to work with you without influence of others or input from others who are also very shallow and living in this like very materialistic worldly existence. You're being called to more, it seems like here. So if you're going to have people, if you feel like you need people, or you're going to have yourself surrounded by people, surround yourself with people who have wisdom and richness in spirit. Perhaps they have something to teach you right now. So that's the message. That's a long one. I know this could be speaking to a specific person, or many people may be resonating with this, but it's also a call to all of us to make sure that our head and our heart and our actions are in alignment, because there's a disharmony when we reject certain parts of ourselves. And I know that we're taught and cultured, or forced to do that sometimes with the people we surround ourselves with, and the traumas that we have and the wounds that we carry. So I'm not judging. I don't think the divine sits here and judges, but they've been asking this person to kind of like heed the call to look within and look at their life and the choices they're making, and they've been kind of sitting in their ego a little too much. And when you are strong in the ego, you reject God because you don't think you need God, that you think you can do better or know better, and that's going to catch up to you, and perhaps life is going to humble you, all of us, you know, in whatever areas that we need healing. So this person is called right now to heal their masculine energy and maybe swing back a little bit into balance. The feminine energy is all about receiving and intuition and, you know, acting from the heart space. So this person's call right now is kind of be isolated and hearing from the divine, tapping into their intuition, and nurture the self, the emotional body, and the heart space. And getting out in nature can help with that, and just to get quiet and reflect with your spirit guides and your higher self and your angels. And sometimes you need to lose things and people in life to really gain some clarity and focus. So try not to see it too much as a negative. Perhaps what you built up was built on a faulty foundation, and you, if you do this right, being what's true and good and fair, you'll be built back up. Things will be built back up in your life in the right way, with the right foundation, with the right people around you to support you, because it's really hard to gain things when you're surrounded by people who mistreat you or take advantage of you, things like that. You want to be able to have blessings in your life and have them not be wasted or sabotaged. And it sounds like perhaps there have been people around you with that shallow mindset. Okay, so 21:44 on the clock just now. So I'm going to stop here. Again, resources online, some of those hymns, read the story of Lot, you know, other, you know, you can see it as like a true story or even just metaphorically, the energy there. It may be hard for you to relate to somebody like Lot. Like, how could somebody still love the Lord after they get those things taken away? You might be kind of angry right now with God, but perhaps this was your own doing. You know, God is, I used to see and be afraid of God. I kind of was raised with a real fear-based energy of God, but I don't see God this way at all. I feel like our choices, the choices that we make, get us a lot of times where we are. So if we choose shallow things, we choose materialistic people, we choose jobs that aren't fulfilling or don't have a grander purpose in benefiting others or the world, or it's not meant to be for us, like what we're not really called to do, it's gonna create blocks in our life and things are gonna end up falling apart eventually. So let's look at our choices perhaps and start making better choices, grounded and rooted in what's good and true and right. Otherwise, we're gonna just keep repeating these same tests, and you might be seeing lots of areas in your life right now, your finances, your career, your relationships, your friendships, your workplace. You might be seeing similar energies playing out, of where maybe things are kind of falling, things you thought were right, people that you thought were right for you are kind of end up falling away, or more shallow in the end. And you know, the foundation is not secure. So I'm gonna go again. This, if you want me to transcribe this message, if this was helpful to you, I can you can order this message from me. I believe it's going to be 116. I'm not sure what I'm going to call it yet. I should have thought of that before. Sorry. I think it's going to be 116. But if you want this message, you can reach me at higherloveletters@mail.com. I will transcribe it for you or audio file it to you. Or if you want a personalized channeled message from your spirit guides, angels, ancestors, higher self, or someone you've lost, and the energy exists in the ethers, I would be happy to do that for you as well. I'm not going to ever reach out to you or solicit you, so be careful for scammers. Again, higherloveletters@mail.com. Take care. Have a good day. Bye.